I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Hey, why not?
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Nana Kwapnause, but then I believe most of you might know me as NKay, as NKay Study. I'm just going to show you how to structure your CNG reports by some simple videos, probably about 7 videos starting from this. So I'm going to show you how exactly you're going to structure it from the title page to the appendices, right? If you are on this video, then basically it means that you already know what the CNG project is all about. And then you've gone through the problem identification, you've identified the problem, you've gotten your topic, it has been approved. You've done some research, you've gone through the field work, you've gotten some data, and then you've analyzed the data. You are now ready to put together the results of your research. You've now decided to, amalgamate everything and make it ready for submission. And then, mind you, the submission is, of course, for the soft copy is 19 December. And then the hard copy is the first week that school resumes, hopefully next month, which is January. That is if the EU tax strike ends, right? The industrial strike they are embarking on. So in this video, we have three standing orders. I'm first of all going to um, help you put together all the resources, all the results that you got from your research or your field work into a particular folder, arrange them in such a way that is going to make your work very, very easy. And then I'm going to take you through the very basis of um, a report, a technical report, right? And the first two things that you have to know, you have to do in your technical report, right? And the first two things, of course, are your cover page or title page, and the second one is the acknowledgement. So aside telling you how to coordinate your research materials or your research results, I'm also going to take you through um, the title page of a report, and then I'll take you through the acknowledgement as well, right? So thank you for joining me. Once again, the name is NKay. Let's go through the structure for some few minutes, then we'll go straight into the standing orders for this video. Thank you. All right, so for you to have a very good technical report, right, or any technical communication for that matter, your communication should be very, very clear, right? You did this in communication skills too, right? It should be credible enough. Credible means that I should be having some figures, some facts and figures, which of course we have over here. If there are some tables and charts that is going to help us explicitly understand what you are talking about, you are supposed to provide them. If there are symbols, you have to provide the symbols, right? You have to tell us what exactly you are trying to convey in your communication. And ambiguity simply means that, a communication is bipolar. Bipolar in the sense that it has two different meanings. We don't want that, right? So if you are going straight to the point, go straight to the point. Don't make us assume for you. Let us understand what exactly you are trying to say. You're supposed to emulate, emulate this element of communication in your report. It's supposed to be concise, right? Let us know what exactly you are talking about. There shouldn't be any extraneous information, right? Don't explain too much. Let us know what exactly you want to say. I don't know, I cannot overemphasize on that. But then it shouldn't also be oversimplified. The fact that we are trying to tell you not to be verbose in your writing doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't, I mean, overlook some things, right? You shouldn't overlook some things, exactly. There is a proper way of writing. I would also show you my reports for you to understand some of these things, right? The active and passive voice, and then more often than not, it's advised that you use the passive voice, right? Exactly. Um, and of course, if you still want to use the active voice, then you should follow through you don't use active voice at chapter 1 and then in chapter 2 you use a passive voice. That is not a good communication skill. All right, you should avoid some technical jargon. And many a times, someone might just take up a report to read and they would want to actually understand what exactly you are talking about. So if there is any technical jargon in your report, such a person may not be, abreast with what you are talking about, so they may not be able to understand it. So even if you want to include some technical jargons, it becomes imperative that you introduce some citations or some footnotes to explain what exactly you are talking about, right? Great. You should guide your reader. We are supposed to do this through the use of um, the content, right? The table of content, right? The headers and whatnot. And then you present the information from your work, both the real world and theoretical or your design drawings. You make sure that everything is logical. Like I mentioned before, the headings are very, very important, right? And this is basically, so yes, basically this is the outline of a report, right? I've already mentioned the first two and the last one is the appendices, right? So we have the cover page, we have the acknowledgement, we have the abstract or executive summary, there is the table of contents, introduction, we have methodology or materials and the methods that you used during your project. We have the results and discussion, the conclusions, if you have some recommendations to give, there are references, and then finally the appendices, right? And I think it's very important that I go back to, make an example of what I was talking about with regards to you avoiding a technical jargon in your report, or even if you are using it, right? You make sure to define that particular jargon. So I'm going to use my project as a use case, all right? And then we are going to understand what I actually meant by the jargons and when it becomes necessary for you to actually define them. So my project was on frequent power outages, as you see over here. And then let me just go straight to where I have some of the jargons, right? Great. So over here, you realize that I have footnotes here, right? Power outage 1. Power outage is a failure of electric power for a general region. And then I have the second one saying that power outage and blackout may be used interchangeably. Then I have the last one explaining or defining what a microgrid is, right? This is where you're going to find the references, but then if you want to locate it in the content itself, we have the microgrid here as number 3. We have the blackout and power outage also over here as number 2 and 1, right? So that is what they meant by a jargon, right? A jargon is simply, a term that might not be necessarily known to everyone, right? It's very specific to the project, is very specific to a study, right? So because of that, it becomes necessary for you to define what exactly you're talking about. So I had to define it in the footnote. There is another one, automobile, yes, automobile, yes, that is it, automobile. So I explain it over here, what exactly an automobile is, so that, for the scope of the study, right? Yes, it's very important that I define it. And then we have subscribers to here as a fifth footnote. Probably if you are a fanatic of social media, you understand that a subscriber is someone that follows some other person on social media, right? But then it's different when it comes to my project. So I have to actually define it. And for the purpose of this study, subscribers are the end users of the community solar project that I propose to solve the frequent power outages. So with that said, we can actually continue with what we were talking about over here. All right, so this is the cover page. But then before I talk about the cover page, I want to show you how you are supposed to actually arrange all your materials for your reports to be I mean in a very good shape, right? Great. So this is actually a folder showing all the courses that I have compiled over the years for the purpose of NKay Study. So we have CNG 291 over here, right? Then when you come to this Z mine, that is a folder containing all the resources, all the pictures and whatnot that I used during my CNG, right? So the first folder is just showing, some topics that I looked through to help me with my project. It has a template of a formal report that I wrote in the first year, and then the program. This program is talking about the deadline that we were given last year. Right, CNG simplify this. It's just a short PDF that I also used to help some people back in first year. So I took all my pictures and then I placed all the pictures in one folder. The pictures also included the school's logo, right? When we get to the front page or the cover page, I'm going to explicitly tell you what exactly you are going to use the logos for, right? So this folder is made up of the logos. Then I have CNG map, right? The map of my community, right? You are supposed to add this when you are describing your community, or you are talking about the problem identification or the methodology, right? You are supposed to provide some pictures of some pictures of the map of your community. Then, some other essential pictures that you are going to need, right? So when you come here, this is a picture of someone filling my questionnaire. This is a picture of some parts of Koti. This is, solar panel. This is transmission system. Power transmission. I meant not the transmission system of panel to mobile, obviously. So when you arrange your pictures, when you arrange your files this way, when it's time for you to add them to your report, it becomes very, very, very easy for you. It's not now that you're going to, go back to your phone to transfer the picture to your laptop or whatever device that you are using to type the report, right? It's going to be, very, very difficult for you. But then when you have everything in place like this, right? When you just see them, or when you know that it's time for you to go through the description of the community, you already have pictures over there. When it's time for you to talk about the methods and methodology, you have your pictures of people filling your questionnaires. So you just add it to them, right? You would have to add, well, even talking about this is actually not compulsory. If you want, you might. Talking about adding the logo to the front page or the cover page, right? But then those who would want to add to it, right? It's not now that you've gotten to the front page, you are now going back to the internet to download the picture. You already have it down here. So when it's time, just come straight to this folder and then you get it, right? Then I have CNG research. Now you're supposed to have a little research, a little research, right, about the topic that you're going to do. This is what we call the research gap or the literature review, right, or the background of study sometimes, right? You are trying to identify or look out for other research papers or proposals that are in the area of your research focus. So I wrote on frequent power outages. So I had to go on the internet and read other files or other books to see if there was any research focus just as mine, all right, and any other research that I did with regards to my project. So I had to identify or get to understand what mechanical engineering is all about, I had to understand some of the branches, right? And I have all the references over here. So when it's time for me to just, I mean, take a look at them, right? I just have to come back to my folder over here and then just identify them. It's not now that I've gotten to the results and discussions area, and then I now go to the internet to check what industrial engineering is or what chemical engineering is. I've already done the research and I've placed every single thing down, right? If you do this, it saves you some time. If you do this, it makes your work very, very easy, right? If you're able to provide all these materials down, believe me, you can finish typing the report in about 3 days, right? 3 days because you already have every single thing that you need arranged for you in just one folder. So when you get to the file that you need, you just input them, right? This is how I actually began mine. I began with a draft, and I would want to open the draft for you to just take a look at it. Once again, this is CNG in 7 days, proudly brought to you by NKay Study. Great. So yes, this is not supposed to be the draft. This is not a draft. A minute. Yes, this is a draft. Amazing. So basically this is how my front page was when I began the report, right? It just had the topic that I was working on, frequent power outages in the new site of Kote, right? As at this time, I had not begun with the front page or the cover page because I just wanted to input in the content of the report itself. So after I was done reviewing everything before I later on came back to, finishing the front page, right? This is the acknowledgement. You will come back to it. I made the abstract. I had not written it in the abstract because the abstract is just an executive summary, right? It's supposed to encompass everything that your project is all about, from the introduction to the recommendations, right? You are just trying to summarize everything in more or less one paragraph or a little below half a page, right? So I wanted to finish with everything before on the abstract. Then I have my chapter 1 talking about the introduction to the project. I have the background, there's the motivation. Let me change this to annotate so that I can be pointing, right? I have motivation and justification of the project. These are the aims and objectives. So when we get there, you would understand that for the aims and objectives, we are supposed to, bullet them, right? So that it becomes very, very clear. Well, not bullet per se, but then it becomes imperative for you to distinguish each and every target or objective of the report or the project. This is the overview of the methodology. Then I came to chapter 2, right? This just the sample questionnaire. And yeah, basically, this is how I began. So when I get to a place where I had to add extra information to, and then I'll add them to it. So the chapter 2 did not just end here, right? This was just a draft that I made when I began. So I was mentioning the fact that when you get to the problem identification, you are supposed to more or less provide as a picture of your community, right? So when I got here, I just went straight to the picture folder and then I just inserted the picture over there. The questionnaire as well. I inserted the pictures of Dr. Menuki and the other people that were filling the questionnaire over here, right? So I would open the results and discussion. The results and discussion. Great, this is the results and discussion. So I actually listed everything down, and then when I realized that I was done with whatever thing I was done with, and then I'll just strike them out, right? I'll just strike through. If you want to learn how to strike through, you just basically select the text that you want to a second. Select the text that you want, and then just come to the strike through over here, and then it just strikes through for you. But that's not what you are doing here, right? So just a side tutorial. So I'm supposed to provide a description of the community. It says that your map should be here. Describe the nature and characteristics of the problem. Describe my area of engineering, and then describe how exactly I was going to solve it with mechanical engineering, right? And this is how I actually began it. So I began with the description of the community, and then let me increase it so that I can't see it. Sorry. I think this should be fine. Amazing. All right. And then second one was the description of the nature and characteristics of the problem. That is analyzing the data that I got from the research, right? And then from there, I introduce some charts. I will show you how to make a chart later on, but then this is just a chart of the urgency and importance of the problem. And the problem, of course, is the frequent power outages in KNUST-CoE. From there, talked about the nature of the problem, the nature and characteristics. These are some of the causes. So this was just a draft. It was just a draft that I was making. Just a draft. These are some of the repercussions of power outages. And then that was it. I'm not going to save this. So back to, let me continue sharing. All right. And then this is a folder having the questionnaire that I also use, right? So the questionnaire, so I went through a series, right? I first made a draft. After making the draft, and then I made some changes to it, and then I had the final. And even the final, there were even two, right? After going through, I realized that there was a mistake, and then I made some extra, some extra corrections and editing, right? This is also important that you have it. You have this because you're supposed to add this to the appendices. So I had everything written down. I had everything just in place. So when I get to the appendices, I'm not now going to go back and forth looking for where I place my questionnaire and all that, right? I have the letter of introduction also in the folder. And so when it gets to the appendices, I just have to insert the letter of introduction there, right? So this is my appendices. Kindly disregard the red marks, right? They are just for references. I can actually take them out. Now they are review instead, yes. Show markup. no markup, and then grades. Yeah, all gone. So this is the questionnaire that I used, right? So I'm just saying that you would have to prepare, get everything down, and then when it's time for you to write the reports, just do justice to that, and you are good to go, right? I have an Excel file here. I had some report from first year. That's Powerhouse and my drafts. Then this is the final week, right? Let me open the final week. So with the final week, um, I was already done with the front page. I had my declaration, I had acknowledgement, abstract, table of contents, list of tables and figures, everything in place, introduction. You realize that the headings are at where they are supposed to be. Everything is clear, right? Exactly what we spoke about concerning the essential element of communication. So let's now go straight to, what the cover page actually entails. And with that, I'll go back to the presentation that we began with, right? So the cover page or the facing page is supposed to have some basic things. It's supposed to have the name of the university, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, obviously. And then the name of your college should be there. You would have your department, you have the title of the report, your name, index number, and the month or year of submission, right? Now you'd realize that over here, they didn't actually include the school's logo, right? But it's not compulsory, it's optional, right? So you realize that some people will add the logo after the name of the university, some will add it after the college, some will add it after the department. There are some people that will even add both the university's logo and then the college's logo, College of Engineering's logo, right? All these things are your own discretion. And then can just continue. All right, so this is just a sample of what we are talking about, right? How we want it to be. So it's basically in three parts, right? You have, let me change the annotation to a vanishing pen, right? So you have the last part, that is the details of the students. So it contains your name, contains your index number, contains the year that you wrote the report. And then we have the course that you are reading, CENG, then the topic, right? The topic that you are also talking about, right? Yeah. So this is CNG 291. Then we have improvements of irrigation techniques for farmers in Banchi Krum. And then you have the details of the school and the college, as well as the department, right? We have KNUST, we have College of Engineering, then you have Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering department. And that will be it. So that should be all. Then you come to the acknowledgement. So I'm just going to show you some files and how they, some sample reports and how they wrote their cover page or facing page. So this is mine, right? So I began with the name of the school, then I introduced the logo here, and then I added the College of Engineering here. This is Department of Mechanical Engineering, the course. Then I introduced some spaces here to distinguish them. Then I added my details as well, right? Sorry for how I'm writing them. So let me show you some other reports. This is from Abdul Aziz. So Aziz didn't add any image, any logo, right? So he added the name of the school, the college, the department, the course, and he wrote the topic, and then his students' details, right? Let me just show you some, probably the last one, and then we can go on. This is Zachariah. Zachariah is a very, should I say, brilliant and smart boy. He went to my junior high and my senior high, so I know him quite well. He added the name of the school, the college. This is the department. And then this is where he introduced his logo, but then I introduced mine just after the school. So like I said, this is all your discretion, however you want to do it, right? He added the name of the course. This is his topic. And then his student details are also here, right? So I'm going to open, or let's say start a whole different cover page for you to see how it was. And for me to do that, I'm going to create a new Microsoft Word file, right? MS Word is here. Let's name it test file. And then let me open it. I hope that screen, all right, the screen, let me share that screen. So we are going to start with the name of the school. I'm trying to show you how exactly you are going to introduce, or let me say, add the cover page or the facing page, right? So Kwame Nkrumah University of, Science and Technology. See, the Kumasi is very important. And then I have College of Engineering. And then I have Department of Mechanical Engineering. I have CENG 291, which is Engineering in Society. I have frequent, you see how I left one space, frequent power. Frequent power outages in the new site of Didiako. Then this is by Anna. Say index number 315-2020, and then was written in September 2021. And you are supposed to make this bold. So I'll just press Control A, right, together, and then Control B. Then they're supposed to be centered, right, center aligned. So Control E, and they're all center aligned. Then you can increase the size, right? Increase the size. Let me select all, great. And I'll increase the size, maybe. Let me reduce the, okay, I think this is fine. So like I said, you have to introduce, or let me say I introduced the logo. So I'll introduce it right after the name of the school. So I'll go to the insert. I'll go to pictures. I'll go to this device. And then I'll come to where the CNG is. It's on the desktop. NKay Study. I have CNG here. These are my folders. I have my pictures here. I have my logos here. I just insert it. And amazing. This is it. This is my cover page, right? I can make it much more interesting by bringing this down a little. I'll bring this down a little. I can further probably increase the sizes once more. So this is 16. I can make it 18. And I'll go and make name of the school also 18. And then I'm done with the cover page. So this is sample cover page that I just created for you. Right, you can use the same approach. You start with, let me go to annotate. You start with the name of the school over here. If you want, you can insert the logo, right? I've showed you how to insert the logo. You place the cursor where you want to insert it, whether after the name of the school, after the college, after the department, it's all your discretion, right? Just go to the insert tab, right? On the insert tab, you go to the illustration panel. You have pictures here, you choose pictures, this device. You can also go to online pictures if you want to insert it from online, right? Great. And then after that, you come to the college. It's here. Your department is here. The course, the topic. Then the last thing that you're going to need is the last thing is the index number, the year you wrote it, and then your name, right? So that is it. We are done with the cover page. Let's go to the last standing order, and then we can finally call it a day, or if you like, a video. So the acknowledgement is just you showing gratitude to all the people that supported you and contributed to the project, right? And it's supposed to be very, very brief. Very, very brief, actually, right? So you are just thanking the people that helped you. So from this presentation, they said, I would like to thank my supervisor, Mr. K. Intikuma, for the invaluable advice and support, right? And then he comes to say, I would like to also thank Mr. KRSTU, the chief engineer right? So you're just thanking the people that helped you. So in my project, I think I thanked about 4 groups of people. The first person was I gave thanks to God for giving me the wisdom. And then I gave thanks to a teacher that taught me in first year, my first year professor, Dr. F. Nyakon, right? We had a similar project in first year and he really helped me. And then I also showed gratitude to my coordinator, Dr. Samuel Bwahe. He's currently in the US doing an exchange program. And then the last set of people that I showed gratitude to was the people of my community, right, for taking some time off their busy schedules to actually help me to write it. So with the same thing, we'll go through some sample reports and then I would write one with a test file that is created. So let me open Zachariah's own. I wouldn't be surprised if Zachariah would be the valedictorian for this year. He just completed KNUST, electrical and electronic engineering. And then almost every time he's the one that tops his class. Right, yeah. So this is his abstract. I actually took some part of, I used Zachariah's reports as a critique, or let me say as a use case for mine. So you realize that probably there are some similar things inside. So he says this, this is the abstract. Okay, great. This is his acknowledgement. I first and foremost give thanks to God. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just trying to pinpoint some things out, right? Yeah, first and foremost, give thanks to, let me increase the size. First and foremost, give thanks to God for his wisdom. And then he comes to say he's grateful to his family support and words of encouragement. And then he comes to show appreciation to the cooperation of the members of their community, right? So let's go to the second reports. Then that's from Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz actually compiled everything to just one paragraph, right? This is acknowledgement. I'm not going to read that. And then finally, let me open mine as well. This is my acknowledgement, right? So I also give thanks to God, FNAL is here, Dr. Samoban is here, and then the people of the community. So I'll go back to the test file. I'll write a very quick, how do you call it? A very quick acknowledgement, and then we can call it a video. So I'm done with the cover page. I can just go to the insert tab, right? Go to the pages panel and then just say they should break the page. When you break a page, it sends you to the next page on a new line, right? Even if you're not done typing on that particular page, it sends you to a new page and then on a new line. But then with the formatting of the previous page, so if I would just change the formatting. No more bold. I'll go back to left align and then go back to my 12. Right. So I can just start by saying acknowledgements. I'll type my acknowledgement. And then I would Control E, bold, Control E to center align. If I want to change the case, right, because it's a heading, so it should be in uppercase. I'll just come to the change case over here. I choose uppercase. If I want to underline, I just underline. Then since it's a heading, I'll just increase the size. I'll come to the headings, right? How to make all the headings uniform. It's on the same home tab, the styles panel. We have heading 1, we have heading 2, we have the title, the subtitle emphasis. But then for now, let's just have our own formatting. Amazing. So to get the acknowledgement to write, we are going to write one ourselves. So I'll go back to left align, and then I'm going to decrease the size again, right? And then let's just follow through. I'm going to increase the size once more. I just hope this screen is being shared. All right, amazing. So I would like to thank God Almighty for giving me wisdom and insight into this project. Special gratitude goes to Dr. Wahib. He's a current coordinator for the mechanical engineering department. Wahib Faisal Adams. My project coordinator and the MESA academic board for helping me with my project and also putting the this report. Lastly, I would also like to thank the people of my community for taking time, their busy schedules to help me with this project. Now, I want to tell you about the editing and formatting for now, but then let me just chip it in, right? For every content of the report, it's supposed to be in justified alignment, right? So let me just select all these things and then I will justify that. Justify just means that both the left side and the left margin and the right margin are going to be in line. So with the test file, we have our, oh, I left this place blank. Let me delete it. All right, so the test file, I have a cover page set. I have my acknowledgement set. So we can continue with the rest of the report, right? So this is what we are supposed to cover for today. It's basically the day one of CENG in 7 days. So in the next 6 videos or in the next 6 days, I'm going to help you write your CENG report. Thank you once again. My name is Now say NKay. If it's not NKay, then it's not a key. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm coming in hot.